And Cuba officially joined South Africa's lawsuit against Israel for genocide in Palestine, the International Court of Justice announced on January 13, 2025. Invoking Article 63 of the ICJ statute, Cuba condemned Israel's long-standing actions against the Palestinian people, calling attention to the urgent need for accountability and justice in the face of systematic oppression. This intervention underscores Cuba's commitment to supporting Palestinian rights and highlights the role of the ICJ as a critical platform for addressing violations of international law. The Cuban government emphasized that immediate international action is necessary to confront Israel's policies and protect human rights amid the ongoing humanitarian crisis in Gaza. The United States has announced that a ceasefire agreement could be reached in Gaza as early as this week, although the Israeli army continues its deadly assault on the Palestinian enclave. On Monday, outgoing U.S. President Joe Biden said a ceasefire could be reached after more than a year of carnage in Palestine. Also, White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said during a press conference earlier in the day that a deal may be possible in a matter of days, although such an agreement is not guaranteed. Meanwhile, the resistance movement, Hamas, has also stated that talks have made some progress on some of the contentious issues that have been discussed on numerous occasions throughout 15 months of genocide that has claimed the lives of more than 46,000 Palestinians in Gaza.
On the war between Israel and Hamas, we're on the brink of a proposal that I laid out in detail months ago, finally coming to fruition. I have learned in many years of public service to never, ever.
President Claudia Sheinbaum gave a report in her first 100 days in office where she highlighted the Mexican humanism model under the premise of for the good of all, first the poor, works to generate well-being. Antonio Aranda, our correspondent, has the details.
In her first 100 days in administration, Claudia Sheinbaum has shown that she will follow the policies of the so-called Fourth Transformation. However, she will have to profile her own style of government, considers this analyst.
The legislature of the Congress of the Union that started with his mandate, or almost with his mandate, had a great avalanche of constitutional reforms approved, but most of them were basically the agenda of President López Obrador. Many of these changes are initiated by him. There are some issues such as substantive equality, such as the reform that gives social security to digital platform workers that are hers. But we are at a very early stage to say that there is a differentiation from her.
Among the challenges that generate more expectations in the short term is the bilateral relationship with the United States.
A person who wants to deal with Donald Trump has to be very astute, has to be very crafty, has to be very left-handed, has to know how to appear to be strong while feigning weakness and vice versa. Obviously, what we are seeing here is a defense of the connationals residing in the United States because of their own extra-official condition, not naturally accredited. But apart from that, they are wrapping themselves in the flag. We are going to work, we are going to collaborate, but we are not going to submit ourselves.
In 2025, security and judiciary reform will be high on Sheinbaum's political agenda.
We are going to see how this year develops and how President Sheinbaum performs, and obviously her success is something that concerns us all. United States, security and judicial reform are going to be the three strong issues, and how much capacity Claudia Sheinbaum is going to have to maintain leadership within the great coalition that is Morena.
The increase in the minimum wage is one of the most appropriate policies to improve the welfare of the working class, according to this specialist.
Something that we have found to be going in the right direction is the increase to the minimum wage. What we have seen is that between 2018 and 2024, this minimum wage has recovered 111% of its purchasing power in real terms. The president's promise is that the minimum wage will be equivalent to 2.5 basic food baskets.
The promotion of higher education is another strategy that will improve the population's standard of living in the medium term.
Education is related to greater opportunities and higher average income growth. It is a strategy that is sorely needed. In the end, we want economic growth, and for that we need a robust training of different professions, especially through higher education and vocational training programs. In the end, this must be a great success in order to grow. We need an increase in the human capital of the population. This is more than necessary.
The increase in social programs and more support for women are public policies that will help strengthen their development, the specialist explains.
I would like to highlight the return of the full-time schools. These were eliminated during the last administration, and it is a good thing for the president to reinstate these programs. In the Mexican labor market, we have a great failure, and it is the low labor participation of women. And when we analyze the causes, we find the use of the time that women dedicate to the care of children, the elderly, and the sick, which at the end of the day is unpaid work.
Sheinbaum has denounced that the right-wing opposition wants the contraction of democracy, but she is committed to maintaining the separation of powers as effective counterweights for institutional stability. One of the commitments of President Sheinbaum as a guiding principle of her policy is to prevent the return of the neoliberal system that socializes losses and privatizes profits.
The International Congress of Communications in Caracas came to an end after 2 days of work. The Congress has taken a number of important decisions. Details from a special envoy, Yunus Soner.
Caracas, Venezuela continues to be a global center of the fight against fascism and imperialism. After 3 days of the World Festival of the Anti-Fascist International, on Monday finished the International Congress of Communication with an anti-fascist, anti-colonial, anti-patriarchal and anti-imperialist agenda. Its objective is to be part of constructing a new world.
A communication intended to recreate the narratives for changing the world, changing the subjectivities, the identities, changing the leading people who is creating the new states, the new utopias, the new forms to be people, to be humanity.
More than 400 delegates from 100 countries came together for 2 days. Their battlefield, communication, networks and the so-called social media owned by Western corporations. In 8 workshops, they discussed ideas and proposals with concrete outcomes.
We decided to make an executive secretary to work permanently, not just in Venezuela, also in each other country that is getting over here.
A number of decisions were taken. Delegates agreed to establish the Hugo Chavez International People's Communication Award. The first grantee are the more than 100 Palestinian journalists who lost their lives in